mains, which would be Brits and Celts. So MbL picking Mongols now has lost his opportunity to use Brits. So you now end up with a Celt versus Celt war, because they're obviously both then going to go Celts. So in one way, I think it could potentially end up with, you'll see more now, Brits, Celts, Celts, Brits.
Yes, indeed. Wouldn't be surprised to see more of those games in the future, as they are obviously both very interesting civs in 1v1. If you're not considering the other civs, which are obviously not an option in this tournament.
I like it though, that it's nice that we are getting a chance now not only to see different civs, but to see civs that the players are still comfortable with playing, because it's so easy to just put in like team random or pick various non-used civs, but at the end of the day, surely, I know I do, I want to see the players playing not only the best they can, but playing comfortable with what they got, if that makes sense, rather than just...
Yeah, indeed. It makes it more fun to watch, it's more interesting to see. And I think MbL actually lamed 2 sheep from Slam right now, but Slams might find him right now. No, he's just barely missing him. Interesting map on Slam side, in my opinion.
Oh, did he just spot them then? No, he just missed them. Yeah, sorry, talk about the maps.
Well, we have quite a nice wood lines for Slam, in my opinion, even though he might be struggling with the hill a little bit later on in the game. He is able to wall off the left very easily once he got his ball in. His gold is there as well. If he walls to the cliff, he should be safe in the long run. And I guess that's what makes his map quite nice. His additional goals are both in the south of the map. He should be able to secure them in the long run, I think. But one of the struggles of Slam here might be the forward hill again, which we saw was a very key factor in the last game as well. And for MbL, however, we have his main goal forward, his additional goal is forward as well.
I don't like
it. In the back.
I don't like MbL's position, mainly on the gold areas and where the fighting potentially could be. But then, will Slam be aggressive? I think MbL will definitely be worried about this front.
Yeah, indeed. Even though the wood line shades him off a bit of the left side, the gold is going to be very awkward in this game for MbL, at least. For Slam, however, it's going to be really nice. And you can see him walling off already. He knows where his balls are. He could even consider walling a bit further so he secures his stone as well, which might be quite important in the Celt Wars. As the late game, we're often going to see wood raiders being very important in those Celt Wars. In the meanwhile, there's no laming done this game so far. MbL is still scouting his own base. Slam scout is probably going to help Slam getting in this ball safely.
Yeah.
We can see MbL getting his second ball. I'm not sure. It's a bit early. A bit early.
It's not too bad. He normally hangs around and lets us sit. It's nothing like Slam's one earlier at like 180 food or whatever it was, goes for the second, which,
yeah,
which instantly tells you he wasn't relaxed.
Confident. Well, Slam's getting it at the usual time right now, even letting it sit in the TC a little bit. I feel like Slam's victory last game is really making him feel a bit more confident. Barracks coming up for Slam, by the way.
Yeah, same for MbL. MbL could turn his map into a very nice map, because the back end of his map is really nice. It's only the front and the gold issues that would worry me, but as long as he doesn't lose any early fights or silly fights, I think MbL could turn his map into something nice.
Yeah, indeed, and that's something I like to see in Age of Empires matches as well. It's just lovely to see people make a bad map into a good map. Like, you got these points, and that's something you saw last game as well. I'm not sure if it was really a lot of thought put into it, but as we saw MbL defending his base, you know, it's going to be a struggle if your opponents get the hill, but if you get it, you have an easy time defending.
MbL housed quite a lot then.
Yeah, he got that house quite a bit early as well. I hope he's just mining it a bit more this game. Both players getting the rush out. Where is Slam's scout right now? It's over there.
I'm surprised Slam didn't just check a little bit more on his palisade and his scouting, but anyway, it's nothing major.
But if you look at Slam's map right now, as soon as he finishes the palisade towards his town center, he has such a nice map. He even has the deer free to take in the back. And yeah, the same thing cannot be said for MbL quite yet. I mean, he got his thresh more defensive.
Slams could potentially be a little bit unlucky with some wolves. Yes, he got a pair of them.
Dragon 1, Dragon 2, and
he got the
running
pair
towards
of them.
MbL's.
That's not going to be nice.
Well, luckily he isn't fighting both the Drush and the wolves at the same time.
Yeah, but he is now, though.
Well,
he is now, and that's definitely going to hurt Slam. Well, it's not going to help him, put it that way.
yeah,
Although Slam took down the scout down one of the militia. What's MbL
nice
doing?
micro by Slam, in my opinion.
Well, it was obviously nice micro by Slam. He's
really using his scout to bait the militia, focus his scout down first, and I think in those games with those rushes where there hasn't been a lot of scouting done by either player, it's really nice to actually get your opponent's scout to just prevent them from any additional information.
Well, Slam's got the scout down, stopped any more risk of the Drush coming, and he's now going to walk into MbL's, but he's not going to do anything, but at least he can still go in and see and knows he's a lot safer at home.
Yeah, indeed. At least he knows he isn't going to get harassed himself. And he can also be, it's just still scouting information, which will be nice for Slam. And it's never a disadvantage to have an additional 2 militia unless you're going to get housed.
Whereas anyway, if you now look at the MbL, he's pretty much blind. He just knows roughly where Slam is. He's got no idea whatsoever what Slam's map is like.
Yeah, indeed.
Nothing
and this
at
is
all.
Why it's just such a key element to make sure your scout survives or make sure you get your opponent's scout down. As the scouting information is just so important in those games.
The big difference for that as well, what you've got to think is MbL's been the aggressor in all of these games so far, and Slam's just won the last one, and he now also knows that it's unlikely MbL's going to be aggressive. Because MbL's lost his scout, he's got no information of what's coming or what's there, or even where to go. So it's going to make Slam safer at home, which I think will give him... The longer it goes, the safer he is, the more confident he's going to become, which is going to make these into much better games.
Anyway, it's interesting how Slam clicked up to Fudo H a bit earlier. With a few less villages, 26 versus 28 up, and I think that's because Slam wants to continue some aggression with archers following up. Nothing being queued, however, and never mind, he's just going straight towards the castle age, just having a bit easier time hitting the castle age as he was able to get the deer, whereas MbL's deer aren't looking as juicy with those militias nearby. So forced to go up a bit later, but
with Celts versus Celt, would you expect to see a big feudal war in that anyway? I no idea, I wouldn't have thought.
Okay, fair enough. It indeed isn't very favourable to go for the feudal war. But MbL, however, is struggling to hit Castle Age. Got quite a bit of... And there we have it, MbL is going for archers right now, rather than getting his eco filled to Castle Age, and that's the difference between the players right now. MbL is really going offensive in the Castle Age again.
He is, but to where though? And by the time he gets there, Slam is going to have knights, or I didn't check. Slam goes stable or ranges?
Both players are going ranges.
Ranges.
But as you mentioned, I don't think MbL is able to do any damage in the time he has now before Slam is going to hit Castle.
Nothing.
Because everything is just walled off. As we mentioned earlier, Slam has such a nice map to defend.
The only sort of bit of a saving grace MbL's side is I don't think Slam's going to do any sort of mini boom or anything from Castle now. He's just going to go pure army. So if MbL can defend that off, Slam's, other than army wise, he's not going to get a huge advantage of Castle. Because he's got nowhere to drop anything, nowhere to drop a TC unless he goes outside. He can't expand.
Yeah, fair enough, but I mean, he could expand on the right a little bit with the when he has the forest and his second gold.
Yeah, if he goes outside his base and the palisade, which I don't know if Slam's going to risk doing yet, I think he's going to want to check on MbL.
Yeah, but I think with Slam hitting Castle Age quite a bit earlier, Slam is going to be on the offensive for now a little bit, just pushing his archers back with Expose, maybe get both Canaro a bit earlier, and from there on, if he's just on the offensive, it doesn't matter if he's expanding outside of his walls, because there's nothing to be seen from MbL to prevent him from getting anything up. No. Bodkin being researched for Slam right now, by the way. And defensive tower for MbL going up at the gold, making sure he cannot get harassed.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you see MbL walling behind the palisades as well, above his ranges, to stop Slam getting through anyway.
Yeah, indeed.
It won't be long. MbL will click up, but it just depends how much of an advantage Slam has by the time MbL gets there. Still one TC from Slam.
Yeah, indeed, and what I wanted to mention is I'm really curious whether Slam is going to add a siege workshop earlier on, or whether he's opting for more of a boom build, adding more town centres.
But where is he putting? He's not even looking for town centres at the moment. Everything is in military archers, but there's no villagers moving. There's no real aggression. The aggression is in effect with his army, which hasn't done anything yet. MbL's just going to stop him there, and he's got the one tower up. I wouldn't mind betting another house or so to come down here.
An option for Slam might be to move around and maybe see if he can hit the wood lines, but first of all, he has no clue where the wood lines are right now, as he didn't scout it, he doesn't have the information. Second of all, MbL is already getting a defensive tower over there, and as third and last point, he needs to walk all the way around, so he's just going to waste more time. And in the meanwhile, MbL is getting closer and closer to Castle Age, not having a small military disadvantage.
Slam now going second TC.
Where's it being dropped?
It's above his first gold.
And quite interesting how Slam did not scout his second gold in the back, only the gold in the front, and he's actually about to drop a TC on the gold in the front right now to secure that stone for later on castles, etc. Both Canaro and Expo obviously being done by MbL as soon as he hits Castle Age, make sure he can fight on even grounds. And this might be a bad timing for Slam to move in, he might lose most of those Expos.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't lose all of those. I'll run yet.
Okay, I figured he would notice he would be outnumbered and run back from that point.
Yeah, MbL moved back because it was more danger on the left side, although... yeah, I don't think he's taking a single vill that side either.
No, Slam not doing a lot of damage, but to be honest, he doesn't need to quite yet. He's adding more town centers earlier, and... now I look at it, he actually cancelled his forward town center, or it's sitting there, but there are no villages moving there. Is he forgetting to delete a piece of wall to let him through or something?
Where are you talking? Up on top of the stone he's put in the TC.
Yeah, indeed, but it was the settlement has been there for quite a while, and the village is only moving just now. So anyway, MbL getting the TC in the stone as well right now, and another one on the wood line.
Yeah, this is... I don't think it's going to hurt. I don't think it's going to hurt MbL too much if he can keep up with villagers, get his villager production up as quick as Slam now. Because Slam hasn't really done any damage. Forward siege coming from Slam now. I'm surprised MbL didn't put a siege up at home himself. But he's gone forward.
And to be honest, I really dislike MbL's town center in the back. Maybe I'm just missing something why he's putting it there. Maybe it's too scary to put it at the gold in the front. But I feel like he needs to protect those villages at the gold. On the other hand, it might die to mangonels, and maybe that's why he's putting it more defensive right now.
Well, he's already got a tower on his front goal to protect those villagers, hasn't he?
Yeah, fair enough.
He does need to be careful now, though. If Slam sits under that tower, yeah, here's the siege from MbL. I'm surprised he didn't get that a bit sooner.
And he might not be able to get it up right now without the expos of Slam being there.
Slam got... no, there's no siege, no mangonel coming for Slam yet.
I feel like Slam is playing very strong this game, especially comparing to the last games.
Well, this
Even
has
though-
definitely hurt MbL now. If he had some sort of chance of keeping up and catching up earlier, because Slam hadn't done any damage or got in, but that's certainly hurt MbL. He
Yeah,
stopped
indeed.
the
He
siege.
maybe
He
didn't
stopped.
do an awful lot of damage, but I'm thinking
Oh, he's done.
maybe-
I think he's done the game-changing damage myself. He's taken MbL completely off gold. He hasn't mined any gold for ages. He killed
Yeah, fair enough.
decent
What he's
amount of
doing
army.
right now is just great.
stopped
And
the
this is why I
siege
actually
going
want
up.
to see the TC in the front.
He's idling all of MbL's villagers. If you look at that, he's idling all the stone, all the
Yeah,
farmers. Still stopped the siege, and he's only now gone back on gold. No mangonel coming from Slam yet.
But
Just going to
it's
harass now.
interesting how Slam, last games he was playing very defensive, not very, just a bit insecure to say so. But now with his nice map, he just feels free to go offensive.
Yeah,
and that-
he took MbL's scout and military off as well, though, didn't he? Nothing came to him whatsoever, and he knew
yeah,
he
so
was
he's been
safe
sitting
then.
peacefully at his base from moment one,
There's been no forward aggression from MbL. He hasn't
and
been
you
able
can see
to.
that Slam just plays way more comfy with no forward aggression.
I think he's going to lose all of his forward army here now, though. Either
Yeah, indeed. He's
either
getting
trying to
locked in
run.
a little bit. The TC on one side, the skirmishes on the other.
He may as well go and try and pick, at least delay or pick stuff off, because most of them are dead anyway.
Yeah, they are very damaged as well, so any fight he will pick with those X-bows are...
Oh,
well,
nice shot on the
lightning into
mangonel
that.
from Slam.
I think neither player has ballistics yet, do they? Let me check. No ballistics. Elite skirmish is being done for MbL right now. And Slam is moving around the side, he's going to scout a bit more. He knows the wood line is there, he's going to see if he can do some damage by walking around. Losing all his forward army, as you mentioned earlier. And quite a bit of stone coming in for Slam and MbL.
Is Slam going to send the sheep into MbL? Yeah, he is.
Nice. Really well mannered.
His
I bet
mangonel is
it's going to be
searching.
game changing.
I'll get you in. I'll get you in after this game, Louis. If I go out now, it stops the streaming. Oh, Wikia, can you give Ra the password?
Sorry,
I don't-
who exactly?
Ra. Ra. Oh, Louis, message if you're listening. Message Wikia who's in the room with me. Yeah, I'm actually streaming, Louis. So I can't come out and sort you out, mate.
User was moved to your channel.
Give him the password for the game room.
Okay, Sanded, if I recall correctly. Caster going up for MbL right now. In front of his stone, nicely protected. Caster going up for Slam as well, and that might be covering MbL.
But Slam is... It is. Slam is forward. Slam is in complete control of this game. Complete control.
And yeah, I really like Slam taking control of that gold, adding more siege. And he actually is keeping the eyes on the additional gold of MbL as well.
Yeah, at the back. It just feels like a completely different Slam playing the game now. Interested to see though what next game would be like if MbL is able to be aggressive again, just to see if the non-aggression from MbL has been the complete changer in this game. But Slam's almost imperial. MbL lacking a lot of gold. I don't know if he'll try and sell to get up. But these Wold Raiders are gonna make a lot of trouble for MbL.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm back.
Slam's almost Imperial.
Yes, and we are finally clicking up as well, I see. Well, finally, it's not like it's...
Yeah, but he's open, and depending if Slam opens up something else here now into MbL's base, the Wolves are just going to be run riot and run straight through.
Yeah, they'll be able to do a lot of damage.
I don't know if Slam will risk maybe an odd couple of trebs, because if he may decide to go slower and make a couple of trebs to start, sit and take down the castle. For MbL, once he takes that castle down, he knows his Woads are just no resistance then, and also MbL is not going to be producing Woads from one less castle.
Yeah, indeed, and with Slam hitting the aim that much earlier, he might have a huge advantage with siege. The hill advantage might be there as well, so he might have an easy time dealing with MbL's castles if he just has enough roadies to defend any siege he brings.
I mean, MbL would have guessed Woad's army anyway, but he now knows for sure. Slam has released all his Woads to kill some skirms.
Good skirmish is out for Slam, and I think they will. Will they have the hill advantage? I think they will. So that castle is going to go down quickly, and I wonder if MbL is able to respond.
Well, I think Slam can hit both castles from where he is.
Ah, yes, I think he is able, but not entirely sure, obviously.
That was just the perfect move. Instead of trying military and more military, completely take MbL's complete forward defense out of the game. Just 3 trebs, job done. MbL can't come out. Slam sat there with Woad Raiders as well, even if he did try. Yeah, I think MbL probably go try and get trebs out quick himself. No, he's going to go for the Woad Elite. And he's got a decent amount. A decent amount when they're elite. It'll be an interesting fight. Slams are already elite.
Upgrades. Yeah, he only has +1.
Here comes the fight.
But elite is done for Slam already,
yeah,
and Slam has more upgrades.
Move forward, Slam. Take that other castle down, and then you just pretty much go straight in his base.
Yeah, indeed. If MbL cannot keep up with Wood Raider production, there's like no way for him to actually counter the Wood Raiders on Slam's side.
Slam walled the one side, left the gate open, and the Woad's gonna come slow.
Oh, the villagers, please! Oh, he gets it in time, gets the
Although,
villagers away.
There's only palisades the other side. In the meantime, here, MbL's in hugely the bigger trouble. Slam moves the trebs up on top of the hill, up onto that hill by the tower, and MbL's base is then an absolute mess.
And with he only has 1 castle left, and even if he knows, if he gets some way to fend off this attack for now, he's just going to struggle in the long run, where he is simply going to lack the woody production. And still, he doesn't have a lot of upgrades. He's still missing 2 on 1.
Oh, that was a really, I don't know if he saw that, I couldn't tell, but that was really... I mean, even if he loses the trebs, he's going to fight the entire MbL army there.
Yeah, indeed. MbL's trying to retreat a little bit.
MbL
going fully fortified. He's never going to win this.
Obviously, was hoping to just go around the back, take out the trebs, and run his army away again. Yeah, it is the GG.
Yeah, indeed, the GG. There was no way MbL was getting back in that game.
Well, game 4 is going to be interesting.
This is going to be team random, right?
Team random, yeah. They both used the same civ, and they obviously couldn't use the ones from earlier.
Yeah, and both players used their reason in game 1, so no reason to be seen for the rest of those matches.
Are you in TeamSpeak, Louis? Yes, you are. You're not talking, though.
Yeah, hey man.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, how's it going?
I'm streaming, mate. Don't you think? Terrible.
I'm excited to watch these games.
Did you watch the earlier games?
No, I just got home now. I just caught the end of the last game.
Oh, they weren't very good. If you watch the Rex,
Really? Yeah.
yeah, for Slam Chris, he wasn't he wasn't himself at all. And then it was only that last game where he sort of played a lot better.